Okay, as promised, episode 323 of Fine Music features Someone in the Light, Murray Thomas.
Okay. Well, we just heard Fred Whitlock talk about old blues, so I am going to jump to a very modern musical form, discuss a few albums which you may have heard of, at least one or two of them. I'm going to talk about sampling and give a
Oh,
brief
good.
history of sampling. Well, let me see if I can get things going. Okay. So we are going to start with Paul's Boutique by the Beastie Boys,
Oh,
which was famous for the amount of sampling. Let's see. In total, 105 songs are sampled.
Wow.
This was done in, what is it, 92, 91 or 92. They did not get clearance on most of these samples before they released the album. But as it says here, most of the sampling for Paul's Boutique was eventually cleared, but at dramatically lower costs compared to today's rates. So it's like it's a groundbreaking album in the use of samples to build up the basis of the music on the songs. And then the Beastie Boys, of course, rap over it. The next one, which we're going to try to switch my, let me see if I can, okay, I got to stop share and go back and share again.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Different window, different share.
Different window, different share. So let's try this again. Okay. So in 1996, DJ Shadow released an album called Introducing. It says here, we're using Wikipedia today. Introducing would go on to make the Guinness Book of Records for the first completely sampled album. Every single bit of sound on this album is a sample.
Wow.
And then he doesn't so much construct songs as in a traditional form, but soundscapes. It's sort of like the whole thing just all flows together, and it's sort of like, I don't know, a sonic movie or just a flow that takes you through different feelings, different emotions, different sounds. Most of the samples on here, is at best I can tell, must have been public domain of old albums, because you can't really see it, but maybe if I stop sharing for a second, we'll see. You can see he doesn't give a whole lot of credit, even though, as I say, every single sound on the album is sampled. So it's a very interesting album to listen to. I mean, it's got separate tracks, but they aren't really songs. They're just the soundscapes and flow. 20 years later, around 2016, there we go, CD's falling out, this album was put out. This is a musician calls himself Girl Talk. And once again, 100% sampled, everything on this, but he actually constructs songs out of these samples. Here, I mean, if we can get, I don't know, we can zoom in on this. This is a list of the samples used on this album. And a lot of them are really well-known stuff, like Cheap Trick and the Beach Boys, even samples the Beastie Boys, Elvis Costello, but on and on and on. Hall and Oates.
Has this been a lawyer's dream come true?
We will go back to Wikipedia to see what he says about it. He claims, yeah, I think you're right. Yes, it's a lawyer's dream come true, but in his Wikipedia article, he says, okay, we need to go up. Oh, I just need to go. No, where we go? Oh, damn, now I lost it. Okay.
Seems like it would create
claims
a
that he
huge
didn't
debate
need to
between
get.
fair use and copyright and public
Yeah.
domain.
Yeah, exactly. That he claims fair use. So I don't know. I mean, I assume he has been sued many times, but so far he seems to have gotten away with it. And he does really interesting juxtapositions of familiar things. One of which just and I'm not sure there's a rap song where the guy's going, "I love having sex, but I'd rather get some head." And he matches that up with Jesse's Girl. So it goes, "I wish I had Jesse's girl, but I'd rather get some head. I wish I had Jesse's girl, but I'd rather get some head." So
He ignores Stacy's mom, huh?
I don't think that's on here. No.
Okay.
But so it's a very, very entertaining album to listen to, because it's not just lyrics. They're like the organ from Whiter Shade of Pale, and another example, the organ from 96 Tears, these very
Nice.
recognizable musical riffs thrown in among these rap beats and stolen bits of vocals. So I don't know, like I say, I find it very entertaining to listen to. You can almost dance to it even, but so it's just that's kind of some of the progression, a brief history of the progression of building major works of art purely out of samples, from the Beastie Boys to DJ Shadow to Girl Talk. And I'm sure there are people out there who are much more familiar in this who could fill in 1,000 gaps, but those are just three that I know fairly well.
Great topic.
You named two of my son's favorite albums.
Really?
Yeah, Beastie Boys and DJ Shadow.
Okay, interesting. They're both very interesting albums to listen to, because you recognize some stuff, but then just the flow of those two albums is amazing. How they put all these pieces together. Girl Talk is more juxtaposition and surprise, and because, like I say, a lot of recognizable riffs come through that you did not expect to get.
Would you classify
can-
My Life in the Bush of Ghosts as a sampled album?
That would have been a very good one to start with, because yes, and in fact, you could almost give it credit for inventing sampling, because I think it is one of the very first
Early.
albums to use sampling, to use found sounds, found bits of,
Well, I don't know. Did you ever used to listen to Wolfman Jack?
not really, because I was on the East Coast.
I think that he would put together bits and pieces of songs and make humorous, like it would be a humorous lyric. The musical part didn't really mesh, but the
Okay.
90s, it was pretty interesting. I can't think of a way to describe it right at the moment, but
Ray Stevens, anyone?
Ray Stevens, yeah.
Way back.
No, I remember when I was a kid listening to the radio, there was someone who would take familiar lines from songs, and they'd have like an interview set up where they'd be
Exactly. That's what I'm
interviewing-
thinking of.
That's
what I'm
interviewing
thinking
Ray
of.
Nixon,
Stevens.
and
Right.
all of Nixon's
Ray Stevens.
answers would be
That was Ray
very
Stevens,
familiar lines from
Yeah,
songs
yeah.
that were popular at the time. Was that Wolfman Jack?
Well, I know that he used to play him on his show.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if he made him.
Yeah.
there
Shadow
was
Stevens was a DJ in KROQ and KMET for a long time, and I think he used to do some of that. I'm not sure.
Larry the K would do that also.
Okay.
He used a lot of actually his theme was Ogatunji's drums, Passion of Drums. He sampled a lot.
Okay.
And yeah, Ray Stevens. There was a couple of people that did those sampling of songs to make it sound. There was one about a Martians coming and
Yeah, I remember that one.
novelty songs like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I have a favorite as well. Maybe you've heard of the Future Sound of London. They had an album in 1996 called Dead Cities,
Oh,
which segues, samples, they kind of fade in, fade out of each other just for effect. Really well done. Highly recommend.
Sounds of London.
All right. Have we sampled enough?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, old lighted one, for episode 323 of Fun Music.
Need
All right.
a chorus of angels.
So